Hey guys, thanks for joining me again for another episode in my YouTube channel, Long Live the Brains. We've reached over 100 subscribers, so that's pretty exciting for me. You guys have been great about dropping comments and questions, and I'm hoping to get to those in a timely manner. Today, I want to pick back up where we left off. We were talking about Parkinsonism. Now, Parkinsonism is not the same thing as Parkinson's disease, and I likened it to the difference between Alzheimer's disease and dementia. So not all dementia is Alzheimer's disease. Dementia is really kind of a constellation of symptoms. So in the same manner, Parkinsonism is a constellation of symptoms. Remember, we have some of the things that can be present are resting tremor, Bradykinesia, or slowness of movement, rigidity, or muscle stiffness, and then there are some other things that can go along with it as well. But remember, not all Parkinsonism is Parkinson's disease. Parkinsonism can be caused by a number of things, even medications. So what's the common thread? These symptoms are the same, so what is it that's causing these symptoms? And what it comes down to is a neurotransmitter called dopamine. You say, whoa, we haven't talked about dopamine yet. Well, that's right. Dopamine, as I said, is a neurotransmitter, which means it's a chemical in the brain that's critical for communication between neurons. So how do neurons communicate? Well, I'll refer you back to video 20. It's the first of one of my videos in the lecture that I gave a couple of months ago. And I show this slide, and I realize you can't see it all that well on this video, but this is just to illustrate the point that the brain is made up of brain cells. We call them neurons. There are other cells, but we're going to be talking about the neurons today. Those neurons have to communicate with each other. Now, most of the time, we're talking about electricity. So there's electrical current that's traveling through the body of the neurons and out their processes. And I don't know if you can see these web-like structures here that are coming out from the neurons. Those are where the electrical current is passing. Now, those little projections reach out to other neurons, but they don't quite touch them. And so how can we have electrical current get from one neuron to the next if they're not touching? The circuit's broken. Well, it's at that space where they're not quite touching that the electrical current on the first neuron causes chemicals, or neurotransmitters, to dump out and float across that space, which we call the synapse, so the space between. And then those neurotransmitters are picked up by specific receptors on the postsynaptic neuron. Now, those receptors, as I mentioned, are specific for specific neurotransmitters. So dopamine has dopaminergic receptors. And so all throughout the nervous system, we have electrical current, chemicals being dumped out, electrical current, chemicals being dumped out. And that's how everything in the nervous system communicates. Now, we don't just have one neurotransmitter, we have a bunch. Some of the more common ones that you may have heard of are glutamate or serotonin, maybe even histamine. You've heard of antihistamine. But today we're talking about dopamine because Parkinsonism is the result of dopamine deficiency, or there's not enough dopamine being made. So the effect of that is that those cells that need dopamine to function properly aren't getting their fuel. And the manifestation is Parkinsonism. Okay, so moving forward, as we talk about Parkinson's disease and other types of atypical Parkinsonisms, it's going to be important to know that at the heart of the issue, we're really talking about a depleted state of dopamine and what we can do about that. So thanks for tuning in for this video. I hope it's been informative. We're going to move forward with some real focused discussions on Parkinson's disease. You guys have posted some great questions about what is Parkinson's disease? Is it genetic? That's a great question. That used to be a simple question, or we thought it was a simple question, but the more we know we don't know. And that is a complex question, so I'm going to try to dig into that in the future as well. So keep posting, subscribe if you haven't subscribed, share it with friends, talk with family members about it. Remember, this is to be a resource for you, your loved ones. So thanks for tuning in.